Dr. Juan. Paging Dr. Juan.
Shout outs to Florida. Big shout outs to Texas. Big shout outs to PA. What's going on, everybody?
Paging Dr. Juan. Paging Dr. Juan.
Ladies and gentlemen,
What's up? What's up?
it's time for another episode of Revive America. It is episode 15. Just keep calm.
It's just chaos.
It's only a little bit of chaos. It's not a big deal. It's
Everybody
not
likes a
big deal.
little bit of chaos.
I'm your host, Billy Preppa. Some guy named Bill on Instagram.
My name's Dave Herrera. I almost said some guy named Dave Herrera, and you can follow me at Not Your Typical Politician. And we're here again, bringing you another episode, man. And I feel like now that we're episode 15,
We're making
right?
progress.
I feel like people are starting to really check it out, but I feel like we're in a groove. We've got this good back
We
and
got it
forth.
going.
First couple episodes, my mom had to pull me aside. She's like, "You talk too damn much. You gotta let Billy. Yeah, you gotta let Billy speak." And I was like, "You're right. You're right." But
we
no,
got a
we
flow now. We got
a
flow now.
good. It's a back and forth, man. We're like red and meth.
Speaking of good flow, we need yo Juan, cue the Jamaican horn because we have some good news. We finally hit 25 subscribers on Rumble, which means we can finally live stream.
Let's
on
go.
Rumble.
So if you're not already one of those first 25 people that followed us, we still need more. You
That's
can
it.
follow us
Absolutely.
on Rumble
This-
at Revive America US.
Revive US.
I got it.
Revive US.
Oh, man, I
America.
thought I got it
That's
right
some-
this
yes, because
time.
some jerk took Revive America. So Revive US America at rumble.com. Follow us on there. If you guys don't know, last week we got banned on YouTube
We got
because we
banned.
were telling the truth. We were telling the truth, and they
Yeah.
ended up banning us. So make sure you guys do that.
It's funny that you can exploit children on YouTube, but you can't expose the mainstream propaganda.
That sounds a lot like Silicon Valley, man.
Wild.
Just don't rain on their parade. That's
Yeah,
that's
right.
kind of what how the
That's
motto goes.
ridiculous. But
Well-
we got a good show lined up.
Yeah,
I think we were both about to say that.
We were about to say that, but we've got a lot of people on the live stream right now. So on Facebook we got 45 people on the live stream. On Instagram we got 5. even though there's 50-something thousand people on Instagram for some reason.
Wild.
Instagram keeps trying to shadow ban me. Screw you, Mark Zuckerberg. Everybody that's on Instagram right now, do me a favor. Share this live stream to your friends, family, and all your loved ones, all your patriot people that want to see this country do great. Share it so we can get that word out there. If you're on Facebook right there, share that messages. We've also got Dr. Juan in the back. He's reading all of your comments and of your messages.
Drop us a comment. If you have anything, a story
Exactly.
we might have missed or something you want us to talk about, we love tangents.
That's
and
right.
making left turns out of nowhere. So please feel free to let us know what you're thinking, or if you had any comments, let us know. We would love to hear from you guys because this is for you.
That's it. That's
Me
it.
and Billy talk like this all the time.
I don't get. Listen, we're getting banned for you. Okay.
For
you.
real.
For you.
For real.
But even that, let me just give a big shout out to everybody who's watching the Revive America show right now.
Let's go.
Rip your shirt off like Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
No, I like this shirt. You see the new shirt?
Beware of the alpha variant.
Yo, Juan, go to my
Actually, that-
camera real quick. Hold up.
Beware of the alpha
It's on it.
variant.
It's on it.
And you know what it says on the back?
What?
It says beware of the alpha variant, and then on the back it says you might just grow a pair of balls. Hey, yo, shout out to Attila's Gym down in Belmar.
Hey, shout out to Bud Light. You drink that stuff, ladies. And,
Yeah, this
things will start changing.
this is like that Harry Potter like invisible that cloak of invisibility keeps me safe from all the Bud Light propaganda.
There you go. There you go. Remember what I told
People,
you guys?
someone commented, they were like, your video, you talk about Bud Light. What have you done? I was like, I stopped drinking Bud Light 6 years ago. Like, I'm ahead of the curve.
right,
Fuck
right.
outta here.
I saw this coming. Future. Speaking of that, I don't know if you saw that tweet. Donald Trump Jr. a little bit pissed off about you about this. I don't know if you saw that comment he made where he was like, "Oh, we shouldn't have so much backlash and Bud Light. They donate a lot to Republicans." I don't give a damn that they donate a lot to Republicans. They're pushing a bunch of propaganda that no one else agrees
That's like a woman being in a relationship with a man that beats her. But
Right.
it's like, but he does love me. Like,
But the thing that's annoying though, man, is like I told you guys last time, the conservatives, they have a very liberals, when they hate something and
Well,
they're taking it to their grave.
you know what I think it also it is.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
Let me get my point. See, you were just talking. You're just
Sorry,
talking. You said,
sorry,
like,
Mom.
Your mom told
I
you.
did it
Your
again.
mom told you to stop.
I did it again.
Yeah,
Mom.
just stop.
I did it
Where's
again.
Dave's mom?
Damn.
Dave's mom. Dave's mom. Get in the comments
son.
and start scolding your son. but I lost my train of thought now. Great.
Oh man.
Anyway, starting the show today. Let's start off with what do we got, Juan?
What do we have? Oh,
Oh, speaking of chaos, right? We're going to start with the chaos we got going on today. I don't know if you guys know this, but Chicago has just elected their brand new Marxist, we the people type mayor, scumbag, completely destroying the city. He hasn't even been there less than, a month and a half?
and you thought it couldn't get worse than Lori Lightfoot.
Yeah, which is crazy. Well, you know what's
Right.
funny? You know what's funny is like, remember when Rahm Emanuel was the mayor before, and oh, this guy's terrible. It's not gonna get that bad. And Lori Lightfoot, like, oh,
and then
it's not gonna
somebody
get
said
that bad.
Beetlejuice 3
Right?
times, and we got Lori Lightfoot.
But this guy's even worse.
Yeah.
This guy's even worse. He
Yeah.
hasn't even been there that long, and Chicago's completely falling apart. Juan, roll the clip.
Damn, pal. Damn.
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 Not my Tesla.
Damn, son.
Not to demonize people who rampage through the weekend.
So social media. Well, I'm not on Instagram. Good luck to new mayor-elect. He's going to need more than luck. He's going to need to get impeached.
Yeah.
And a miracle from Christ for this kind of stuff to stop. But can't say I told you so, Chicago. Can't say that I'm surprised. I mean, this is what happens. The thing that I find very frustrating about this is whenever these kinds of mayors come up out of the woodwork, Baltimore had one too, the first young mayor in Baltimore's history, can't remember his name. But they'll always have these kinds of politicians that'll say like, oh, we're here for the people. We got to unify socialism, Marxism. They'll talk about all this really great grandstanding crap. And within weeks, the whole thing falls apart. The whole thing starts falling into chaos. So Chicago, you got what you asked for. What my main question is, where the hell are the parents for all those kids? Because it looks like they organized this on social media to get this done.
I mean, look, and that video didn't even really show. Like, there was a woman who got attacked
Yeah, well,
outside.
there was several.
Yeah.
2 people killed, one shot.
I was watching a live stream, actually, of a woman who went to Walmart. Black lady went to Walmart. And this Walmart, if you haven't seen this video, go watch it, is completely cleaned out. Like, shelf to shelf, cleaned out. They went in and they stole everything out of this Walmart.
Stole cabbage,
Except
everything.
except the vegetables.
They didn't
They didn't take the vegetables.
Oh, wow.
The vegetables and water. That was the funniest part of it.
Damn,
the
son.
entire water aisle was full, and then like celery and carrots and shit like that. But like, and the woman was crying because she was like, "I'm tired of all this shit where people come in the community and they're like, you know, though we're black and we're oppressed and we have this problem, but like we're the fucking ones doing this to our own communities.
I seen
Like,
that.
I came to Walmart to feed my kids and put food on the table, and like this is the second Walmart in Chicago that's completely empty, and then." People want to give backlash to Walmart for wanting to leave places like Chicago. Why? It's cheaper and more beneficial to just close down your box store and go somewhere where you're going to be appreciated by the consumer, and you don't have to worry about filing some sort of theft claim for an entire store worth of shit. So, you know, I don't see an end in sight for what's going on in here in Chicago, and the truth is there's an illusion that people have. And I believe people believe that, you know, they would want freedoms, right? And I truly believe that people actually, whether they believe this or not, need to be told what to do. People need law and order. People need.
What do you mean by that? Exactly.
Okay, so let me explain this to you. Right? Everybody, like not maybe people like me and you, but majority of people will tell you that they want freedom. Majority of people will tell you they don't want rules. Majority of people will tell you that they just want to be left alone to do their own things. But when people are left to their own devices, they either A, are unproductive, they're B, they're crazy and rambunctious, or C, there's complete and total chaos, as like we're seeing in Chicago. So, but like, people need a boss. People need somebody that tells them what to do because, again, that's the biggest illusion that we have in this world is freedom. When people have freedom, they don't know what to do with it. So, again, as much as people didn't like guys like Trump, as much as people don't like police, as much as people don't like people that are, you know, these authoritarian figures that like, oh, you know what, but fear and a little bit of a controlled environment is what these places need. You don't need these progressive people that come into these murder capitals of the world to tell you that, oh, we're going to make everything better. Like, where? When? How? Like, at this point, why? You know what I mean? Like, just let it burn. Just let it burn. You can't fix this stuff because it's ingrained in people because you haven't changed the culture. It's a cultural change. And I don't mean that for the sense of the black community. Inner cities all over, right? Because of the fact that they're allowed to just run wild and rampant and do whatever they want without any repercussions, there's really no need for them to change. So you need to stop electing these people. And this isn't a Democrat thing. If you had like a hard-nosed Democrat that came in there and was like, bro, this crime, it's going to stop. We're going to put police on the street.
Yeah, that's
We're
not
gonna.
happening.
I understand, but I'm just saying it doesn't have to be a Democrat or Republican thing. But it's about they're called leaders for a reason, right? I feel like the leaders of our community are more followers than the followers that are supposed to be following the leaders.
That should be on a shirt. That should be on a shirt. I think that's a good idea for some merchandise, man.
But you think about it, because the leaders will be like, all right, what do you want me to do? Like, dude, I elected you to make the changes. Like, why are you asking me? Like, most of the people are 20-year-olds that live on their couch at their mom's house, and you're asking them how to run a city? They didn't run for office. You did. Stop bending the knee to the people that have no idea what they want.
Didn't he try and blame Walmart for this as well, too?
Yeah, he did.
He was like, this is Walmart's fault. Man, I should have
So the
that
first
clip.
Walmart said they were closing, and then they
Right.
went and destroyed a second Walmart because the first one was leaving.
Now they're totally not coming back.
I'd leave, bro.
They're totally not coming
Walmart
back.
got money, bro.
To-
They don't need to do that.
Listen, man.
The problem is, and hear me out, is like Walmart is a more urbanized, low-income area kind of a store, right? So if Walmart decides they're going to keep leaving these areas that are low income, that are where their base is shopping, what do you do? Because once you get in a little bit more money, you're not shopping at Walmart anymore. You shop at Target. I always say Target is like the Walmart for people with a little more disposable income. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. It's
Target.
kind of
Target is like fancy Walmart.
Target.
Target.
As they
They've
like
got a
to call it.
Starbucks. Walmart has a Subway. It's a big difference.
Well,
It's a
both-
big difference.
They both suck, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't like
To
really
be fair.
Target.
I'm not a fan.
This is my first job
Target?
at Target. I pushed carts. Look at me now, Mom.
Oh yes, this is
All right.
this is one that I love. See, Ron DeSantis. So last week,
Mm-hmm.
speaking on the topic of Ron DeSantis, last week there was a rumor that Ron DeSantis was applying or did apply to run for president. It turns out that wasn't him, or that wasn't the case.
So is he or isn't he?
I don't think if I was Ron DeSantis, especially after that little hiccup of whatever some person did, I wouldn't run at all, because at this point it would just kind of look even stupid.
I'm holding out hope for him to hop on that VP ticket.
He's not going to do it.
I know, but I think that would be a great. Think
It
of that
would-
Trump
it would-
DeSantis
it would.
T-shirts. That would go as good as the Reagan and Bush T-shirts.
Oh, 100%. But
Be lit.
But at the same time, it's probably good that he doesn't, though. honestly,
Why?
because there's always still going to be that crowd of people that are like, oh, but Trump, you know what I mean? So I think even Ron DeSantis kind of making a path for himself may be good. Then you know what I mean? Because it's like, look, no matter what, they can both do good on their own. They don't necessarily need to be two on the same ticket. Because sure, they can get some monster stuff done, but I think it'd be better if they kind of go separate ways.
But here, I personally believe, I'm gonna let you read this. This is a win for DeSantis.
Oh, that's
it's a win for America, but Florida specifically,
Yeah.
and DeSantis. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, because Ron DeSantis has just been hitting slam dunk after slam dunk. And the truth is, if you really look at a lot of his policies, he's not doing anything special. He's not doing anything out of the ordinary. Like, he's just doing common sense stuff, the stuff that every American
It's extreme,
wants.
though.
Extreme to the fucking morons.
Extreme
on the
and
left.
extreme common sense.
Extreme common sense, which is lacking in America.
Yeah.
Death penalty for child rapists approved by DeSantis is expected to be signed for law. The Florida Senate on Tuesday passed a bill that will allow the death penalty for people who commit sexual batteries on children under age 12, sending the issue to Governor Ron DeSantis. Honestly, I think it should be lower than 16. Call me a lunatic, but I think, anything.
But again,
listen, man.
you want to know the craziest part is he's receiving tons of backlash about this on Twitter from
pedophiles want that.
Right. Well, no. Somebody actually commented. It was somebody from the Alphabet Boys here, and they were basically like, "This is how they try to exterminate the LGBTQ community by rounding us up." And someone was like, "This
Wait a
has
minute.
yeah. This is what they think. So they think this is an attack on trans people and on gay people and on all this stuff. And it's like, bro, this bill's literally about.
So you're saying you're all pedophiles?
And that's what somebody was like, what are you talking about? And that's what it is they're saying this is some sort of Trojan horse to somehow round up the transgender community and exterminate them, because Ron DeSantis wants to give the death penalty to people who molest and rape minors.
As you should, man. Which honestly, this is something that should.
I would take it a step further, bro. You rape somebody and you get I'm not talking about the Me Too. You had a bad fucking night and you were mad at your boyfriend. You went out and you sleep with someone else, and the next day you cried rape. I'm talking about somebody physically fucking assaulted you sexually. I think the death penalty should apply to you too.
What if someone straight up did
Like,
rape?
I'm not talking well, look, we live in that culture now, that rape culture where people are like, oh, there's so many. I'm not saying I don't believe women when they say that, but there are a lot of people that will say, oh, they did this to me because you regret a decision that you made, right? I'm talking about someone that actually was
Like
raped or
scumbag,
assaulted, like
did some-
scumbag, type of shit. Like, that person convicted should be murdered.
100%. I agree. I don't see a point in paying for
But definitely for children.
See, and you know what's funny about you saying that is, like, that's the part where I'm not necessarily conflicted, but that's where a lot of people or at least the pro-choice community will say things like, well, how can you be so pro-life when you support the government killing criminals? And in my opinion, I'm like, well, because you're a criminal.
Well,
and I don't want to pay for you to stay alive.
They
bro.
had a choice at life,
right.
and they fucked it up.
Right.
Like,
I'm not paying to keep you alive.
do you know
bro.
how much it costs to house an inmate a year?
My point exactly.
It's like almost 40 G's.
And I'm not talking about like you Grand Theft Auto the car, or you sold a couple of bags of something on the street. I'm talking about straight up murderers, molesters, rapists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People who are extorting old people and like ruining their lives with 401ks. Like, yeah, those guys got to die too. Come
Like
on.
those QVC jewelry commercials that try to get your grandparents to buy turquoise fucking jewelry for you.
Listen, at least it's real jewelry. Okay,
Yeah,
at least it's real jewelry
I
on
don't know about
QVC.
that.
But like, hey man, we know you got that pension money. You kind of want to, buy this this turquoise.
No, but I
chain.
think what DeSantis is doing is very important, and it actually plays into this next story that we're going to go, and I'm going to put that up here on the screen. And this explains the direction that the world we're living in is kind of going in, right? So this new UN, right, for the United Nations, for those of you that don't know,
New World Order.
New World Order, right, is recommending the normalization of sex with minors, right? So a shocking report issued by international legal experts with the backing of the United Nations appears to open the floodgates to normalize sex with minors. Sexual conduct involving persons below the domestically prescribed minimum age of sex of consent to sex may be consensual, in fact, if not law.
What are you talking about, David?
But I'm reading the article.
What are you talking about?
Bro, So this actually takes it a step further. Ron DeSantis wanted the death penalty for anybody convicted of raping someone under the age of 12.
Right.
This one would give consent that 10-year-olds, anyone over the age of 10 years old, could consent to have sex with an adult.
Why? See, all right. You remember that episode in South Park where they were talking about NAMBLA?
NAMBLA.
Right? I remember. If you guys don't
And we're
remember,
not talking about the Marlon Brando episode.
No. So in South Park there was this episode about this group called NAMBLA, National Association for Boy Lovers, or something. North American Man Boy Lovers Association or something like that, right? And I thought it was a joke. I'm like, yeah, there's no such thing as NAMBLA. I go on Google and it's for real. It's a whole entire organization of adults that call themselves minor attracted persons that want to diddle kids. And they want to basically push for legislation for something like this to happen. And I remember thinking, like, these people are insane.
That's a weird way to say pedophile.
Exactly, but I'm like, I don't think this will ever happen in a real world society. But now when we got to the point where the United Nations, right, and this is the thing that's annoying, like when you talk to some of these sheep that don't fully understand how our Constitution works or how our government works, yeah, but the UN, I don't care about the UN.
Fuck the UN.
The United States created the UN. The UN, they have no jurisdiction over us. But the fact that they're saying this, the sheep will go around and say, well, look, it's totally normal. The UN says it's fine.
Now, they've been trying to
we
push
can
this.
argue it in the World Court or something.
Yeah, no, they've been trying to push this now because I know California tried to push this, where they moved the age of consent from 16 down to 14.
Hell,
they're trying to do that, and it's like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just very weird to me to like. I could never imagine. Like, dude, look, I'm 32 years old, right?
Right.
And like, even though I know the age of consent for me would be an 18-year-old girl.
Right.
Like
it's even weird for me to talk to an 18-year-old girl.
Bro,
right
even
now.
at work, right? Like I've got girls that I work with now, and they're like 18, 19. I look at them, they look like babies
Right,
to me.
dude.
Babies. Like I don't even get to when I look at them. I don't even look at them in that way of like, oh, that's something I could sleep with.
Right.
The fact that you're a 45, 50-year-old, 60-year-old man that would look at a 10-year-old boy or girl and be like, damn, son. Like,
Damn, son.
You know, like that's what that's so freaking weird to me. Like, there's nothing normal about that. They're trying to change the philosophy of it by changing it from the word pedophile to minor attracted person, right? Because it's a disease. It's a mental disease. And they can't control it, and it shouldn't be a crime. And that's what they tried to do. They tried to change it from pedophile to minor attracted person so that it was no longer considered a federal offense, right? You wouldn't go to prison for it. You would be sent to a mental institution
Like a misdemeanor or something?
Right, you're sick and they're going to get you help and they're going to put you back on the street after you've been rehabilitated, kind of like a drug addiction.
Right, but it's
right,
not.
which as a drug addict that offended me. I was like, don't put those we got our own problems over here in the addict world. Don't lump us in with these fucking weirdos. Like, you stay over there. You know what I mean? I have done some shit to get high. I never once touched a little kid, you know? So fucking keep them over there. We don't want any of that. But for the UN to try to normalize this is a way for all these fucking subverted pedophiles that have been incorporated in our system from top to bottom to finally be able to show their face, right? We talked about that. Guys, for those of you who don't know, I mean, everybody here knew when I told them, but look up SpongeBob SquarePence's address on his driver's license.
Oh, yeah, we were
Right?
talking about
123 Conch Street. It takes you to an island in the Virgin Islands called Little St. James. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's Epstein's Island.
That guy didn't kill himself, by the way.
The guy that didn't kill himself.
He didn't.
He did not.
do it.
He did not.
It
So
never
again,
happened.
when we talk about it, there's been the normalization of sexuality with children. Even going back to like, there's that video that shows like what Ren and Stimpy used to do. We used to watch. I mean, I wasn't a fan
I always
of it.
hated that show,
But
honestly.
so sexualized, right? We sexualize these kids. We're getting them prepared. We're overstimulated. I was having this conversation before we got here. Dude, at 10 years old, I was not thinking about sexual activity at all. I still thought girls were fucking weird. Like I would hang out with them,
I didn't
but
think
I didn't think of them that way. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't thinking about having sex, let alone being able to consent to having sex with someone in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this to kids?
Bro, you know why they want it.
No. I'm asking you to explain to these people.
Listen, the only reason why they would do something like that is I can't remember which philosopher it was that said this, but someone said that the fastest way to destroy a nation is to hypersexualize the youth and the young adults, because once they do that, they'll be led to do promiscuous behaviors. If you can break about the families and prevent strong male structures from keeping those families together, eventually the government will be able to insert themselves inside the lives of these children. You're going to be able to educate them and indoctrinate them and move them in a completely different direction, which is what we see today. And feminism hasn't helped that either. So sorry to all you, not even sorry, fuck you guys. I'm sick and tired of the feminists that come
Stand
out here.
up already.
Well, exactly. Exactly. You know what? Let me say
Stand
something.
up.
Let me say something real quick. I was going to say it for a completely different reason because I'm not a fan of feminism, and I can take that to the bank. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not a fan of feminism. It's destroyed our country. It's destroyed families. It's destroyed the women. Men and the women today have no idea what the hell they want. They're talking all kinds of nonsense, and our children have no idea which direction they want to go in anymore. And feminists, of all the things you should be fighting for, you talk about how you're fighting for equality, you're fighting for change. I should have put this up here. What's the chick's name with the purple hair, the soccer player that everyone
Who
made
cares?
fun of?
I know
Right?
what you're talking about, but I don't
But
know.
the soccer hair chick with the purple hair. Can't remember what her name is.
The one who didn't win the gold medal.
Anybody who's in the comments, whatever her name is, put her name in the comments. But the one that's in the gold hair, she was talking about being against trans people getting involved in soccer, or playing women's sports. And I'm like, that's kind of funny because 2 years ago, were they not just complaining about how women's sports are not being paid enough as the men's sports, but now you want to be an activist for men to come inside your sport?
Yeah.
Come inside your
No,
sport.
no.
That was not
Hey, yo.
Damn, son.
Stop.
Can I get
but
a?
you want,
Oh, yeah.
you want men to come inside your sport. You want men to go.
get a?
Oh, yeah.
You want men inside your sports.
You've got me interested. I might watch women's soccer now.
Stop it. you got these men inside your sports now. You're advocating for these men to come inside. Let me
Stop
just
saying come
change-
inside,
just change
bro.
the subject.
Play.
Billy.
Just change the subject.
Megan Rapinoe? Rapinoe, that's how you say her name?
Megan Rapinoe. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Loser.
Big shout outs to Gretchen for that.
Thank you, Gretchen.
Thank you.
Megan Rapinoe.
She gets the Jamaican horns.
Yes, bullet. But the Megan Rapinoe, she's telling people she wants the trans to be involved in sports and all this, and I'm like,
No, just not my sport.
you were right.
Just not my sport.
Well, she was advocating like we need equal pay, we need equal this. Now you got a bunch of men that are gonna dominate you on the. They're
Like,
gonna kill you
I
on the
don't
court.
care.
They're gonna take all your money
Bro,
still.
take the U.S. women's soccer team, which is I think the best women's soccer team, right?
They
I
made
think
us
they're
look very stupid.
and put them against the men's U.S. soccer team, which is not that good. They didn't do very good
Put
in the
them
World Cup,
against
and they will
15-year-olds,
shit on them.
Put them against 15-year-olds.
And you know what? Again, I want to jump on this bandwagon before we change. Like to the feminists, right? And again, the feminists aren't about equality. The feminists are about women empowerment, right? The feminists are about women being at the short end of the table, not getting the money that they're owed, not being their just due. But then, and misogyny is the problem here.
Misogyny.
It's all about misogynist
misogyny.
men take over the world. But yet
the patriarchy.
But yet the feminists are bowing down to transgender men. So shout out to you feminists who are literally allowing misogynistic men to tell you how to live your life by bowing down to them to let you play in their fucking sports leagues.
Listen, man. Just because she got a dick doesn't mean she's not a woman.
It's not a dick. It's called a lady penis.
That's so ridiculous. Okay, next topic.
Speaking of lady
speaking of that,
penises,
here we go. We're not done with this topic then.
we're not done. We're never done.
So the GOP recently, they put some legislation forward in Congress to try and protect women. You know, like the feminists are supposed to be doing.
That's where you failed.
You failed, all right? The GOP put that forward, and Biden is to veto the GOP bill protecting women's sports, calls it a discrimination against transgender students. The White House has vowed on Monday that President Biden will veto a bill that will prevent biological males from Listen to that. Listen how fucking retarded that is. like the Biden White House. The White House vowed Monday that President Biden will veto a bill that will prevent biological males from participating in women's sports. And the thing that's funny is every time they want to push some legislation, they always got to find a way to tie the children. What about the children?
But let me ask
what
you-
about the kids?
But what's the point of having a fucking Congress or a Senate if the president can just veto any bill that goes? Like, there's no point. It's all a show. It's a show.
I mean, granted, I can understand why. And that's the way their Constitution has been written. The truth is at the end of the day, if the president isn't doing what needs to be done, the Congress can still impeach the president. So that's still totally fine. I can still understand that. But who didn't see the president not doing this? Of course, he was going to go and veto that bill.
But
you know?
can I ask a serious question to all my people out here who believe that, right? Because I'm from the school of thought, and I know Billy is too, that there are two genders, right? Male
Not
and
the
female.
school of thought. I'm from the fact
Okay.
that there are two genders.
The school of thought, the
The
fact, whatever,
No,
the
it's
fact.
not a school of thought, bro.
All right.
Hang on, we got to kill that. We are from the fact that there are two genders.
Okay, so let me rephrase. I am from the fact that there are two genders.
Correct.
Right? You may have feelings that tell you are X, Y, and
Yes.
Z. You're a cat. You're a dog. You were born a man with a
Correct.
penis. You were born a lady without one. You could have babies and ovulate even though you don't have a vagina. Like, that's fine. Okay. But let me ask you this, right? If there's like, what do they say, 70-something genders out there, right? 70 genders is what they say?
No, there's no number.
No,
There's
but
cap.
there's no cap. Okay, but
No
let's
cap,
just
no
say
cap.
there's 50, 60, 70 plus genders.
Right.
Why are there only 2 sports leagues?
Well, you see,
No. That's it's a simple question.
I'm giving you the answer. The thing is that we live in a very bigoted, patriarchal, top-down society where men control everything, and they want us to be locked into this binary that makes us all caught in this matrix that's non-existent because it's all in the back of our minds. But the truth is, if we want to actually progress and move to the next dimension, we have to actually open up our genders
Right.
to 78. And the problem is, we've made buildings racist because we don't have enough doors to actually
Yeah,
accommodate
I
the
know.
different genders
And
that
we made
have.
roadways thing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the truth is, man, like that's just patriarchy.
No, but here's my question for you to really think about this. If there's 70 plus genders out there, but there is only 2 sports leagues, right? Male leagues and female leagues. Why aren't we creating a league for people that can identify however they want to play in? And again, it's because, and I only ask this question because as someone who grew up playing sports, I really want to know, why is it that I'm not seeing biological women hop in the field with men? Why
the
am I not
patriarchy.
seeing Megan, the soccer player, hopping in to play in the FIFA World Cup? Why am I not seeing Ronda Rousey step in the ring to fight Conor McGregor? Why am I not seeing Leslie Sparks of the Liberty going to
patriarchy.
play up against LeBron James? Because
patriarchy.
no, it's not patriarchy.
patriarchy.
It's the reality of, again, and this is not a misogynistic
Yes, it
answer.
is.
Men are bigger, we're stronger,
You're a
we're
misogynist.
faster, we play these sports more aggressively. Go watch the video of the man who joined the UFC league and he kneed that girl in the face.
David, you have too much testosterone, too much.
I
you
am
have too much-
alpha.
You have too much toxic masculinity, and you need to curb
No.
that. You need to curb that.
I don't give a fuck.
Have you had your soy today?
No, I didn't have no soy today. I haven't had soy in a while.
Kim, can you bring him some soy?
Excuse
milk,
me,
please?
can I have a tofu pate?
Kim, bring him some
No,
soy
but
milk.
it's a serious. It's not a joke. It's a serious question. Like for the Leah Thompsons of the world, and I know my mom cannot stand that as a swimmer growing up. But again, ask yourself this question: why is it that women aren't hopping in
that
men
motherfucker got a
powerlifting?
wingspan like a fighter jet.
Right, but why aren't women hopping in men's powerlifting competitions or playing in the NHL, the NFL, the NBA, MMA for men? You're seeing men who sucked as men going and fighting against women, playing against women, wrestling against women, lifting against women. If you want to be a woman, then compete in your own. Look, you know what? And I hate to say this, the handicapped people have their own Olympics. You know why? Because you might be the best paraplegic 500-meter roller,
Yo, but
but
Special
you're not
Olympics is
running
pretty
against.
awesome,
but
though.
you're not running against Usain Bolt.
I don't know, man. Some of those Special Olympics, I don't know if you've seen like Special Olympics track stars, man. Some of those kids are pretty fast.
Okay,
bro.
but you
I mean,
understand-
maybe not at the same level.
Yes,
but they're fast.
But that's
as
what I'm
hell,
saying.
bro.
Nothing against them. They are amazing
Right,
athletes,
right,
but they have their limitations.
Right.
So if you feel that you're this biological male that all of a sudden is now a female, I don't think it's fair that you go and compete against women in high school or going and beating up on a girl. You couldn't beat up on me. And I'm nothing special, but these men, they weren't beating up on people like us, but you want to go beat up on Susie Q.
But then again, you're a bigot. You know,
I don't give a
patriarchy,
shit.
patriarchy,
There should be a
patriarchy,
league for that.
Patriarchy.
Work on that.
Patriarchy. You're a misogynist.
Drop it in the comments. Do you agree or disagree?
He's a misogynist.
If there's 70 genders, why are there only 2 sports leagues?
Because you're a misogynist.
Thanks. I'm an alpha male.
You're a misogynist. He's
Beware.
a misogynist, everybody. All right.
Fuck you.
All right, we got some news from the FDA, right? Feeding us more nonsense. Since Dave's on the roll, Dave, I want you to go on with this one. Continue. Get that frustration out with this.
But that makes me mad. I'm not wrong. That stuff makes me mad.
Listen, man, it's okay. You're a bigot. It's fine. It's fine, bro. It's patriarchy. Like you just got indoctrinated with that toxic masculinity, man.
You don't
right in the eye, face to face.
Yeah, man.
you disagree with me though?
No, I don't fucking disagree. I agree with you 100%, dude.
Get your own league, weirdo. Like
100%.
have your own locker room with whatever you want to do in there, but like it bothers me, bro.
Rest in peace to the women's basketball league. It's losing millions and millions of dollars year after year. And I don't know how long they can.
Bro, if you were, honestly, look, if you were a woman, and this is why it doesn't happen, but if you were a woman that was playing in the WNBA and you ain't making shit,
Hey Dave, by the way, people are calling you a phobe in the comments.
No.
They're saying you're transphobe. You're a patriarch.
Yeah, with a laugh emoji.
Yeah, because they're laughing at you for being such a bigot.
Get the fuck out of here. Bro, I'm not. I don't care. If that's how you want to be happy. But it doesn't mean that you couldn't hack it as a male athlete and now you're going to go be a woman athlete. That shouldn't work that way. It shouldn't.
Listen, in America, you have the right to cut.
That's like me leaving here and rolling up in some little kid's driveway, playing on a play school basketball hoop and dunking on him.
But you have the right.
Like dunking on him. I identify as 6 years old, slam.
You have the right.
No, fuck
This is
out
a
of here.
free country.
Fuck your rights.
Excuse me?
Fuck your
so you
rights.
are a fascist.
Yes, I am.
So you are a bigot and a fascist and a patriarchal misogynist.
Yeah.
You're
I've been red pilled.
You're a bigot. You're based. You're based.
I can't wait for the Dems in East Brunswick to run this for my next political campaign.
They're already tearing me up.
David Herrera
Listen, man,
hates trans athletes. No, I don't. Just find your own league. There's no crying in baseball.
There is when you have a cry corner, man. All right, they're making accommodations.
Dude, I hate you so much right now.
Making accommodations.
Anyway,
See?
the FDA, this is from the FDA's website. So this way we hopefully don't get banned,
But that doesn't mean it's true.
even though the people that put
could
this
be
out
fake
in the
news.
first place. So anyway, the FDA has updated the FDA rules for bivalent mRNA COVID-19 vaccines. The monovalent Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccines are no longer authorized in the United States. Now move to
Read
the
that
next
again.
slide.
Read that one more time.
No, I'm going to read it in the
One
next
more
slide. So the COVID-19, and I'm going to read this. This is from the FDA spokesperson,
Them
director,
directly.
the director, right? At this stage of the pandemic, data support simplifying the use of authorized mRNA bivalent COVID-19 vaccines, and this agency believes that this approach will help encourage further vaccinations, right? Peter Marks, who's the director of FBA Center for Biological Evaluations and Research. Evidence is now available that most people in the U.S. population 5 years of age and older have antibody of the SARS-2 COVID virus that causes COVID-19, either from vaccination or infection that can serve as a foundation for protection provided by the bivalent vaccines. COVID-19 continues to be a very real risk for many people, and we encourage individuals to consider staying with current vaccinations of the COVID-19, but they've moved it. So basically, what they're saying is this is no longer authorized, right?
The vaccine. The emergency use vaccine that they
Right.
told everybody was safe to put inside their body.
So there's two parts I'm going to give you, and then I want your elaborations on this.
Yes,
okay?
I'll kill it. I'll kill it.
I want you to, because I know you know this. But number one is they removed the authorization they said was basically only given so they could push it out, right?
No
The
surprise
emergency use authorization, which, again, most vaccinations take anywhere between 5 and 10 years to get approved. This one, Operation Warp Speed.
Super fast. Donald Trump, you fucked up with that
No
one.
one's ever done it like
That's
Donald.
why I'm mad at you. I love you, but that one right
That
there,
one
Donald
was-
Trump, you're a
is-
fucking idiot.
that
for
cost
one.
you 2020.
Why'd you do that?
Anyway.
Why'd you do that?
And number two, and this is
Still
very,
love you, though.
This this is important to read it again, right? It says the agency believes that this approach will help encourage future vaccinations. Basically meaning we realized we pushed this shit way too hard, and now no one trusts us.
You think?
So in the future, when there, because again, I'm not here to shit on modern medicine. There is some amazing modern medicine out there that has helped people, saved people, cured people. But you have now pushed this shit so hard and so far down people's throats that when you actually do need to come up with something that might save your life,
Right.
majority of people are going to go, I'll take my chances, baby.
I'm not fucking with that. I mean, that's how I was off the rip. I was not taking it, and I caught the Wuhan twice, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I'm just gonna have to die then, because I don't know what the hell's in that vaccine. And
If
you know
he
what?
dies, he dies.
He dies. He
He
dies.
dies.
Ivan Drago, that's it. He dies.
Yeah,
he dies.
he dies.
He's not here anymore.
So
He was
what?
here,
So
but
what are
he's
your
dead.
thoughts on the FDA
But-
changing this?
Listen, man, I'm not surprised. I had a feeling this was gonna happen, and I've been. Listen, man, I'm gonna get on my.
Do it.
Listen,
We
man.
need a Billy rant. Let's
Listen, bro.
go.
First off,
Here comes
First
the
off,
test.
there were a lot of people, man. There were a lot of people. Most of you guys watching this live stream right now, there was a lot of people that used to give me. There are a lot of people that used to give me a lot of madness. Hey, Billy, when you're going out there and you're talking to people, we got to make sure you're wearing your mask because people are going to be sick and people aren't going to vote for you because you're not wearing your mask. And I told you guys from the very jump, listen, you want me to put a piece of cloth over my face?
Whoa, where'd he
to
go?
Continue to speak, right? As if my oxygen can't get through this. right? There's people wearing Hello Kitty masks that are clearly not meant for your health and safety.
Yep.
But you can still get on an airplane so long as you got one of those damn things on. You just cover your face, you're totally fine. The whole entire thing was nonsense. None of it was legit. The science changed left, right, and center. Dr. Fauci would say one thing. He would get caught in the halls of Congress. In front of in front of the Senate when they asked him questions. Everything that he said would completely change. Nothing that they've told us about this virus has been true. And the fact that should have scared every single person was when Trump was like, we're gonna rush it out. We're gonna rush it out. Didn't agree with it. That was the first straw that I saw about Donald Trump that I was not happy about. We rushed out a vaccine. It was emergency use. It wasn't even, no one can even tell you what is going to happen in the next 5 to 10, maybe 15, even 20 years. There haven't even been studies that long. You put it in your body anyway. And then even after people put it inside of their bodies, people still got sick. There's people that are dropping dead right in front of our face, all right? People, newscasters telling you. And today's weather is... And they still want you to take it.
We'll be right back.
And right? They still want you to take it.
After this commercial brought to you by
Brought
Pfizer.
to you by Pfizer.
Pfizer.
Right? They had all this stuff is happening right in front of your face. They want you to deny your own eyeballs as if this is something that's totally normal. Throughout my entire life, I never seen people dropping dead just right in front of my face on camera. You ever seen people just dropping dead for no reason?
They're tired.
They're tired.
Very tired.
They're tired. Their eyes rolled back in their head and they just collapsed. And
Well,
then
they're tired, Billy, because their heart is pumping really hard because of the myocarditis that they got from
no,
this.
it's not that. It's the fear and the anxiety from. Remember when they told you guys? And I think it was like episode 10. We were talking about this. Remember when they told you that your stove is going to kill you? That your stove is the reason why you're getting heart problems?
Is it not?
No, man. Come on.
No, wait. Episode 9 you're talking about where they told you video games were going to kill you.
See, man.
Oh,
no.
oh no! And before that, it was eggs.
Eggs are gonna kill you.
Oh,
Bro,
those fucking eggs.
Listen, man. The whole thing was a farce.
That's crazy.
And you know the thing that's crazy about this, bro? The worst part about this is everybody that took that vaccine, you can't even sue Pfizer if anything happens.
No, because it was an emergency use authorization.
And you took it. Well, they forced you to take it, essentially. They basically forced you to take it. And then there's some people that still, I'm going to wear my mask
you know what's
and
crazy?
do my part.
I was talking about this in front of with my mom this morning. And I was like, you know what? I talk about it now. What's all this stuff coming out with the vaccine with people anywhere. And people, you could tell immediately when people have got the vaccine because they're like, man, don't talk about that. And I'm like, you fucking nervous, ain't you, dog? You nervous, huh?
Your heart beating,
You sweating, huh? You got that flutter? You got that? I'm
not
telling
funny.
you,
That's not funny.
It's not. I'm sorry.
It's not funny. 'Cause
Anyway,
there's probably people
but
out
I'm
there
telling you, it's gonna be 3 a.m. And remember back in the day, you be falling half asleep, and you used to wake up, and they have like those commercials that would talk about like the music, but you're gonna wake up and be like, do you or someone you know take the COVID-19 vaccination? You might be entitled to compensation at our law firm. Blah 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 blah. You could join our multi-million-dollar class action lawsuit. It'll be a big
injury attorney.
Yeah, it'll be a picture of fucking Anthony Fauci and Joe Biden out there. Remember when Joe Biden was there with the fucking Band-Aid and they had the collapsible needle that didn't actually go in his fucking skin?
That was saline or something.
Big shout out to Sebs because she said that in the chat.
What, Selena and Bart?
What'd she say?
She's like, now we wait in results in 15 years. Did you get the COVID?
Yo,
COVID
exactly.
You may be
Exactly.
entitled for
You better
compensation.
call J.G. Wentworth right now because it's your money and you need it now, dog.
It's my money and I want it now.
Have a structured settlement, but I need cash now. You guys got played fucking real hard. And they're slowly pulling it back, right? It was like, you don't got to take it. Maybe we're just going to remove the authorization. Pretty soon they'll scrub it from the internet. You'll never know that it fucking happened again. And people have to live with this. People have to live with the fact that they were lied to. They were coerced because fear is a ginormous motivator. Fear gets people to do anything. And that's kind of like what I was saying about why we need to have stronger figures in these communities. Because, look, I'm not saying that we need to live in, like, Nazi Germany here or anything, because that's horrible. But you do need some authoritarian people in these positions because sometimes, again, people need to understand when you fuck around, you find out, right? The government made you fuck around. You ran around like a chicken with no head cut off, with no head on. You went and got this vaccine because you were told that it was going to help you, and then because most people did it because they were like, well, they told me I could take my mask off if I do it,
And you couldn't.
and you couldn't, and they're like, well, then they told me I wouldn't catch COVID,
And you could.
and then they told you that you wouldn't only need to get 1 shot.
And you got 4.
And then they told you that, all right, we didn't know it would work, but it's okay because your symptoms will be less.
They're worse.
And then you got heart problems.
And you're about to die.
And they want you to fucking still think that they had your best interest at hand.
We totally did not.
But now they need to back off because exactly what the FDA said is that people are going to see this and go, next time there's like a pandemic, or next time there's a flu outbreak, or a swine this, or a bird that, or you need this, whatever it is, people are going to be like, yeah, I don't trust you. And again, while I specifically don't trust the FDA and the government for what they did during the COVID pandemic, I'm not here to shoot down modern medicine. I know it saves people's lives. I know people do need it, but you have put such a foul taste in the world's eyes about modern medicine and about what scientists and what about doctors are really about, that you could have forever just screwed the world over, and people are never going to trust you again. Never. That's bad. You should have just laid it out on the table.
I think it's kind of a good thing, though, that people don't trust these people.
Like, imagine this, bro. I'm going to be real.
Because you've got, and I just want to just kind of jump in real quick, because they've gone from being a pharmaceutical company that's supposed to be caring about the betterment of mankind to, you know,
give me your money.
Dr. Robotnik that wants money. You know what I mean? Yeah. We need your money to test it on. Look, I can't do it.
No.
But they've gone from... They've gone from something that was meant to better the common good of humanity to testing the evils on humanity.
Yeah.
You know?
I tell you what, and this might sound crazy, but I can guarantee you that if Fauci, the FDA, they came out and they're like, listen, guys, we've got Operation Warp Speed. We're coming out with this vaccination, right? It hasn't been tested the way we need it to. We don't fully know. We believe that this is our best option to fighting COVID. This is our best option right now to handling the pandemic. We don't know. We're going to be upfront with you guys. Right. We don't know the long-term effects. We don't know the side effects, but we've tested it for the last 6 months, and we've seen results that are positive.
We don't know what happened long-term.
We don't know. But I guarantee you that if they came out and said that, people probably would have been like, you know what? Okay.
I'll take my chances.
People would have taken their chances if you gave people a choice in that matter. And most people still would have fucking taken it. Look, we were driving here today, and I pulled up, and there was a guy by himself, windows up, mask on. And I'm like, but why? You by yourself.
Bro, you know what it was that got me to...
You by yourself.
You know what it was that got me to see that this is immediate bullshit, bro? When I started to see strip clubs say like, oh, you'll get a lap dance if you show your vaccination card, or you'll get a Samuel Adams if you go to this bar and you have this, or
cheeseburger.
De Blasio. Like, oh, you get a tasty burger and some fries. Like, you're trying to coax me with a cheeseburger, bro?
Did I
ever, for real?
Did I ever tell you about my COVID strip club story?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so back when I was...
Do tell.
Yeah, so I was working at El Toro, back in the RIP El Toro.
Fuck El Toro.
Fuck El Toro. Yeah. But we were working, me and my bartender, Jackie, we were like, yo, there's nothing to do. Everything's closed. And we were like looking for places to do something after work. There's nothing. And I'm like, yo, Club 35 is open? Like, I was like, I hate strip clubs. I was like, but I got to see what strip club during pandemic life is like.
They're all in masks?
So we walk inside, and they're like, you got to get a mask. And we're like, all right. We went back to the car. We got like the neck gaiters, whatever. Bro, I walk into the strip club. These girls are fully nude wearing masks.
What is the point at that
And the
point?
first thought I had was, I can promise you that COVID is not the thing I'm afraid to catch in here.
Right.
You know?
Sit on the wrong chair.
But, like, I was watching girls give dudes lap dances in chairs with, like, N95 masks on while there was people in a different section smoking hookah inside. And I'm like, none of this makes any sense to me. So that's when I knew, I'm like, this is not a fucking pandemic, dude.
We're not going to die.
If, again, schools weren't essential, gyms weren't essential, healthy foods wasn't essential, seeing your grandma wasn't essential, going to church wasn't essential, but lap dances...
Oh, yeah, essential, boy.
Green light. You know why? Because they're paying their tax dollars. Church wasn't. That's a tax-free zone. School is already taxpayer funded, right? Grandma, oh well. Grandma's on Medicaid. We're paying her to stay alive.
Ain't that something?
You know, when you start to think about it that way, you're like, holy shit, they played us. So yeah, that was my COVID story for the strip club. I don't like strip clubs, for the record.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking to get some Revive America merch, make sure you guys go ahead to www.revive-usa.com and get yourself some merch.
As we transition
support,
into,
ladies and gentlemen,
every item we sell, we support a masked up stripper. For $1 a day. For $1 a day.
She's going to be more than $1 a day.
Yeah, but if we get our 25 Rumble subscribers,
she won't have to twerk.
That's $25, bro.
You're saving a stripper from twerking.
Think about that. Add it up a month. She puts it in her 401k. She could have a nice nest egg in about 20 years.
About 20 years. About 20. Ladies and gentlemen, ride-usa.com. Make sure you go out there and get some merch. purchase something. It'll help us support the live stream if you guys haven't done so yet.
And pay Juan.
Yeah, it'll help us pay Juan as well, too. We owe Juan. We definitely owe Juan.
Oh, go ahead.
Speaking of, and then also Revive, follow us on rumble.com. Revive, you just threw me off.
Darn.
Revive.
Follow us on rumble.com. Revive US America
.com.
at, Revive US America on Rumble.
Oh.
Follow us on Rumble.
Just
Okay.
follow us.
Rumble.com/user/Revive US America.
Yes, it
Yeah.
doesn't look like we're going to be going back to YouTube anytime soon. YouTube
Never.
doesn't seem to like us very much. They believe we're fascists. They're the real fascists.
But you just said I was a fascist.
No, I said you're patriarchal, misogynistic,
Should I put that in my Instagram bio?
misogynist,
I kind of like that.
misogynistic, patriarchal, chauvinist.
Oh, speaking of merch, before I forget, hopefully coming soon to the Revive page. I wanted to talk about this because it was pretty cool. A year ago, I filed my patent trademark,
Oh, that's
and
right.
I finally, Juan, you on my camera right now? I finally got my approval. I am officially the owner of the Grand New Party LLC trademark.
Let's go.
So we've got hats. This hat, it comes. I actually, where is it? It's on this side. Yes, I actually ironed these on myself. They don't
Yeah?
come like this.
I was gonna say because
It's a lot of work, but you know, for America, you
Makes
got
it look
to.
good, though.
We're gonna have shirts coming and tank tops for the summer. We have hoodies, which you guys have
I'm gonna
seen
need
us
some
in
tank
for the
tops.
winter, and flags as well. You know, but I was really excited about that because I was like, it went from an idea to now it's my brand, and it's a movement. So if you want one of these too, drop it in the comments. It's going to be on the site soon. I just need to get some more inventory.
Speaking of the site, actually, I'm not gonna announce that. Next, I'll tell you about it after the
Episode
show.
16.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
won't believe
Sweet
what
16.
secret.
That's the name of the next episode. We should have called this the quinceañera.
The quinceañera.
The quinceañera.
Why?
Because it's 15 in Spanish. I don't know.
That's stupid.
I'm gonna let you read this one.
Okay, here's some more asinine stuff, and this isn't about America, but this is going on the other side of the world.
But it does affect us.
Our American type sort of people down under in Australia. To save its honey industry, think of this. To save its honey industry, Australia is killing bees by the millions. Australia is the only major honey producing country that has so far managed to contain the spread of mite fatal to bees. So they're destroying bees to save their honey while honeys make the bees. And if you guys don't know how bees operate, literally everything that's on this planet that we eat, plants that live, they require bees to pollinate them in order for them to spread, live, and do what needs to be done. You kill the bees, you kill the food. You kill the food, you kill us. So for them to say that they're going to kill the honey, they're going to kill the bees to try and save the honey, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, so I read a little further down, and they're
there's more
saying
to it.
so they're saying that these bees have some sort of like sesame seed sized mite on them, and they killed these bees because they didn't want them to spread to other parts of the world. Because basically Australia's like $70 million a year or $700 million a year comes from the honey. It's one of their biggest exports in Australia. Really? So they were trying to say that they're saving the bees by killing the bees, basically, because they were infected and they had to get rid of them.
That
right?
makes no sense.
But again, if this was a one-off instance and we look at Australia taking out these bees and we're like, okay, I understand that. But we're Americans, and we've seen some shit over the past couple of months, right?
I'll tell you
We've
what we
seen farmers dumping out milk. We've seen chicken farms go on fire. We've seen eggs going bad. We've seen cattle farms blow up. We've seen pigs getting sick. We've seen a lot of stuff that's fucking with our food supply. Again, China buying the land, Bill Gates buying the food, things that make you go, huh? And now all of a sudden, Australia, and for some of you, it's just honey, you live without it. Maybe you guys didn't take a biology class or understand what the ecosystem is, but bees, without them, we would literally die.
Yep.
They pollinate, they cross-pollinate, they help us plant new life, they help us grow crops. Like, bees are a very integral part of our ecosystem. So to just take out millions and millions of them starts to raise more red flags to the already amount of red flags that are being showing up about what governments have been doing to our food supply. So again, if you just read the headline and you haven't followed about what's been really going on with the food supply, you might look at this and be like, it's not that big of a deal. But in the grander scheme of things, this is a very big deal, right? Think about how much one bee can pollinate an entire field.
Yeah.
Take out millions of those. You're talking about you could see the repercussions in that ecosystem for generations to come. So And I know this. They also doing this in New Zealand as well. So this
Killing
is
off the bees?
yeah. So this article, believe it or not, I saw this article. Somebody actually is a TikTok video, right? That somebody that sent me, and I had to dive real deep. Like when you type in Australia killing off bees, like it's not near the top. You really have to dig. And this is a New York Times article.
Ain't that something?
But it was probably like the 10th article down, and it was talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, but it doesn't want you to see this, right? Like, you know, if this had the name Trump in it or if it had something else in it, it'd be top.
Trump.
You wouldn't even ask for that
He's going
information.
to jail.
They would send you like an update. Bombshell. But you know what?
Bombshell.
Honestly, I tell you what, killing off 1 million bees is a bigger bombshell than Trump paying off Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't affect you. This does. This could very well affect you. Ecosystems go down, we suffer.
But what about Trump using campaign?
You know when
funds?
people would care about this? If they'd put Trump killed millions of bees.
Trump doesing want us
Right?
to have honey.
Right? Yeah. He's bephobic.
He's
He's bephobic.
He's bephobic.
Speaking of, I'm going to let you read this because I've got a lot to say about this one.
About this?
Yeah, but
The U.S. what a stupid
you like the way they word
What a
it?
stupid-
Oh, it makes me so mad.
What a stupid headline. The U.S. economy could depend on McCarthy corralling his extremist Republican troops. What does that even mean? Why we put the story? What does it even mean?
So, for those of you that aren't paying attention, right now there's an argument between congressional Republicans and Democrats because they are looking to raise the debt ceiling higher, right? Remember a couple months ago we had hit the debt ceiling, we went over the debt ceiling, then they figured out some things to, you know, keep us under the cap so we wouldn't default on our loan from the Federal Reserve, right? Maybe some of you don't know that. But now we kind of settled it out, but now here we are, and there's more spending bills on the way. And Kevin McCarthy is like, not until you trim the fat, not until we eliminate some of the wasteful spending that really is not putting Americans first, that's really not taking care of the infrastructure or the things that we need. Why would we continue to raise the debt ceiling?
Right.
So they label this again because it's a trigger point, because it's a way to get you to believe that the Republicans are the bad guys here.
So stupid.
They're trying to get you to believe that we're the ones that, or the Republicans in Congress are the ones that are going to, like, if the government collapses, it's their fault, all because McCarthy is basically saying, no, we're not going to keep spending money. So I want you to read the next article, and then I want to give you your comment on this one as well, because I think it kind of ties into it, with what
Okay.
McCarthy is saying.
Next slide.
Juan doesn't like us no more.
Yo, Juan, what are you doing over there? Are you,
My
like, taking
apologies, bro.
tequila
Now
shots?
try to change this damn thing up. My fault.
Yeah, he was answering a text message.
nah, I was checking the stream.
Go to the next slide.
My fault. Sorry.
Guys,
So-
hey,
so-
by the way, we got a couple people that just joined.
Oh, we got
us over-
28 followers?
We got people on Rumble. All right, guys, if you guys haven't followed us on Rumble, make sure you do it. Yeah, we're growing this up. We're trying to get off Facebook. We're trying to get off of YouTube. Trying to be a lot more independent with all this nonsense. Also, if you're on Instagram and you're listening in right now, don't be a putz. Share the live stream. Tell people to join in. If you're on Facebook or you're watching this on any other social media platform, share it, tag your friends, get the word out. That's the only way we're going to grow, because we're not going to be able to grow this organically. Even though we're live streaming from my Facebook page, with over 100 and something thousand people, 50,000 people on my Instagram account. It's about 200,000 collectively. We're getting about 30 people viewing this live because of the shadow banning. So damn strong. So damn strong. All right, guys, so please, do me a favor, share that. And, more stupidity from
So
Mr. Biden.
This ties in to what I was just saying. This is
Gotcha.
this is part of it. So I want you to read this. I want to give your thoughts, and then I want to say some stuff. But I want you to get in on this.
Okay. Biden pledges $1 billion more in U.S. funding for UN's Green Climate Fund. President Biden is giving $1 billion with a B,
Capital B.
to the United Nations Green Climate Fund. The president confirmed the financial commitment in a message from the White House announcing a Thursday meeting of the Major Economies Forum on the Energy and Climate. I've never even heard of that before. At today's meeting,
It's important.
It's important. I'm sure it is.
It's important.
Today's meeting, the president will highlight new steps the United States is taking to meet its ambitious 1.5 sea-aligned goal of reducing emissions 50 to 52% in 2030, the White House wrote in a press statement. Interesting, especially considering we're nowhere near the #1 largest polluters in the world. We're actually one of the cleanest people in the world. We have so many freaking restrictions in place with keeping our environment clean, yet they want to restrict us even more than anyone else, while the other side of the world decides to prosper from it.
But so this is where I want your feedback, right? So we are at a debt ceiling. We've already hit it in the last 3 months. We're
Right.
about to breach it again.
Right.
We're looking to send $1 billion that we don't have right now, on top of the $200 billion that we've given to Ukraine.
Money.
And the Republican extremists in Congress are the problem. Thoughts?
Listen, man, it's not the Republicans that are causing this, okay? The Republicans, at the end of the day, man, at the end of the day, remember when Donald Trump pulled us out of the Paris Climate Agreement, the Paris Climate Accords?
Yep.
I remember at first thinking, like, well, now why exactly did he pull us out of that, right? Does that really harm the environment as much as the people have said? And I started to look into it. And the more I looked into it, the more I realized the Paris Climate Agreement does literally nothing to actually save our environment. Guys, okay.
He's popping today.
Getting too many. Put this on Do Not Disturb for a second. But it literally did nothing to save our environment. It did nothing to keep our...
And we were the only ones holding up our end of the bargain.
Exactly. So it's like we've signed on to this. We're the ones cutting back all of our restrictions and regulations. You guys benefit. We don't get anything from it. You're not talking to India or China or any of these other countries that are polluting far, far, far more than we are. We got to go and shut this down.
Yeah.
This is reminiscent, very reminiscent of that I see here, and the fact that they're going to take another $1 billion of our money that we don't have, by the way, to go and pay for this global climate project is fucking ridiculous to me. I think every country should really worry about their own environmental problems and deal with their own environmental problems. Now, if it's to the point where you're polluting the water and it's actually getting into our water, i.e. China, for example, or your trash is washing up on our shores, then yes, I believe that you need to be fined or dealt with in that way. But this UN nonsense, I think it's crap, and I think that we shouldn't be spending our money on that, more importantly.
Yeah, and then name calling on the top of it, and that's really where I really wanted to take a second, right? Because it goes deeper than this. I'm really tired of being called an extremist. I don't know about you, but I'm really tired of that.
I actually kind of like it.
Okay,
because like it gives me a reason to just
no. But here, there's a reason, right? I'm tired of being called an extremist based on the things that we say, the things
Right.
that we talk about. Because here's the reality, guys. The shit that comes out of my mouth is the same stuff that majority of people believe in. It's majority of the stuff that we think about. The difference between me and the majority is that I actually have the balls to go out and say it on platforms, and I'm not afraid of the repercussions. I'm not afraid to be excommunicated from my social circles, or have my job taken from me, or have my family think I'm some type of way, because I live in the world of common sense, right? And majority of people, this goes deeper than this. Do you know how many people come to me and they're like, you and Billy on your show, you guys say this wild stuff, and like, I'm gonna break it down for you. Like, you know what? We are common sense people, me and Billy.
As you should be.
As you should be. Like, look, it's 2023, and I'm all for the, like, look, love is love, bro. You want to go love who you want to love? I don't care. Go do it over there. But I'm conservative enough to say leave the goddamn kids out of it, right? I'm a libertarian enough to say if you want to smoke weed, I'm fine with that. But I'm a conservative enough to say that legalizing all drugs and creating safe places to shoot up in New York City is not the way to do it, okay? I'm not one of those people that think all the government has a conspiracy behind it, because I believe that a strong government is necessary in order for America to process. But I'm also patriotic enough to understand a tyrannical government when I see one, right? Me and you are smart enough to understand that we should trust science and we should believe in modern medicine, but we'll call it out when you guys are trying to play the American people, right? We are calling
Then you don't trust the science.
No, but we're calling things out for what they are, right? Trans men should not be playing in sports with women, especially your little girl in school. We shouldn't be having things like this happening in our communities, right? These aren't extremist beliefs. These are common sense beliefs, and people are so afraid to actually call it out for what it is that we've become shunned by this societal norm that, like, if I don't agree, right? If you've never heard the expression of the tail wagging the dog,
Yeah.
right? Dogs usually wag the tail. We have the tail wagging the dog, right? I'm a firm believer that, look, there is gun violence in America, but I don't believe that guns are the problem in America. I believe there's a mental health problem, but we're not going to talk about that because that's not sexy, and that actually might require us to do some work and fix the way our youth is being raised. You know, it's a lot easier to just tell people to ban the guns, right? As a drug addict for 10 years,
the guns.
every single time I picked up drugs for 10 years, I knew what I was doing was illegal, and you know what? I fucking did it anyway because I don't care about the repercussions of my actions when I'm doing that, the same way a criminal won't. So when you call people like me and Billy extreme for voicing our opinions on these issues that majority of people are too fucking afraid to say they believe in, enough is enough, man. You guys just got to wake up and not be afraid of that.
Give him the Jamaican horn. Let's go, Dave.
No, but it's true. Like, for 2 years, I was called a racist, a misogynist. I don't trust the science. I don't do this. I don't do that. Like, fuck all that, bro. Like, that's not who I am. Like, the truth is I'm just a person that sees things for what they are. If you put something in front of me, I'm going to look at it. If you tell me that my phone is black, I'm going to be like, okay, that's black. If you tell me this microphone tip is red, I'm going to look at it and be like, you're right, that's red. You can't tell me that this is purple. You can't tell me that this desk is made of wood when I clearly know it's made out of plastic. And if I tell you it's made out of plastic and you don't want to agree with me, that doesn't make me racist.
What if it identifies as something else, though?
I don't give a fuck.
But that makes
But that's
you,
again,
that makes you
feeling-
intolerant.
No,
though.
I'm a facts.
That makes you intolerant.
Facts over feelings. Your feelings are important to you.
You're a factious.
No, I don't care.
You're factious.
I don't
man.
care.
You're factious.
I'm at that point in my life where I don't care. People need to stop doing that. Look, I'm not insensitive. I believe that people should have fucking freedoms. This is America. I believe people should have the rights to do what they want to do. But again, you know what? People want freedoms, but then that's fine. But then don't come and tread on mine because they don't agree with what you believe your freedom should fucking be. Let me live the same way I want to let you live.
That's fascism.
It is what it is.
You're fascist.
Maybe. I'm okay with that. I'll die on that hill.
You'll die on that hill.
I'll die on that hill.
That makes you a misogynist too.
But again, how many times have I said the same thing? Look at what we talked about. Moving the line in the sand, right? Think about this, guys. In the 70s and the 80s, when gay people were trying to get recognized for being human beings, right? When people started coming out of the closet, because in the 50s and 60s you weren't.
Whoa, hang on. I gotta curb that real quick, man. I gotta curb that real quick. Because this is one thing that I hear a lot about the LGBT community that I think is total bullshit. When they say that, that we were coming out to be accepted as human beings. Not fucking true. Everyone respects you as a human being. Everybody knew you as a human being. They wanted to be able to do their degeneracy out in public and in the open, and they wanted people to accept it.
Right.
That's what it was.
But what I'm saying is,
it's nothing to do with humanity.
No. But what I'm saying, when that love is love movement started,
that's
right?
what I'm talking about.
Okay,
they obfuscated it.
But hear me out. In the 70s and the 80s, when that first started, right? Love is love. They just, whatever they claimed it to be, whether it was for acceptance or they wanted rights to get married, whatever it was. We've gone from there. Now, fast forward 40 years, and you have the UN telling you that it's okay to sleep with fucking 10-year-olds.
Well, listen, that's what, you know.
Look at how, but that's because we've allowed the line in the sand, right? First it was love is love. Then it was let us get married, let us adopt kids. There's more than two genders. I'm a cat. I'm going to play in girls' sports. I'm going to do this. You have to accept me or you're a fucking transphobe. Now I want to fuck little children.
I'm gonna say something that's gonna probably piss off a lot of people, bro. But this, and I had this conversation with my mother not too long ago. A lot of the things that see happening right now, I blame a lot of the stuff on the weak Christians we have today. And the reasons why I say that is, like, for example, you say anything left field about the Islamic faith, many people, not all of them, but many people will come at you in a very, very unorthodox way, right? They don't play with their religion. They don't play with their truth, and they are not going to allow any outside influence to come into their society and create the narrative for them in the name of tolerance. Christians have gotten the Bible. I believe many of them have not fully read what's in the Bible. They say, we have to be tolerant of these things, right? Jesus Christ was tolerant.
Yeah.
Jesus was not a tolerant person at all. Jesus was not tolerant. Jesus was compassionate. He had compassion for the sins that people were committing. He had compassion for the problems that people were committing, the things that were going on, but he wasn't tolerant of anyone's actions. We've somehow bent the narrative that we have to be tolerant in order to be in a civilized society. But the truth is, like, one small thing will eventually end up becoming a very big thing when there is nothing put in front of it. But you put tolerance as the reason why something should be done, the goalpost is going to constantly be moved. Just like when, what was this, 2014, I think this was, when,
right.
when the gay couple wanted to get their cake made. Remember that? Was that 2014 or 15, something like that? They wanted to get their cake made. It was a big, giant thing in the news, right? And what did people say? Oh, it's not a big deal. Just bake the cake, right?
Yeah.
The next thing, right? Oh, well, my child has changed gender. Oh, what's the big deal? It's not your kid. You can let it be your kid, right?
My 10-year-old's dating a 50-year-old.
What's the big deal, right? Okay, yo, they got some porno books in front of my children. What's the big deal? Then don't put your kid in that school. Yo, there's trannies dragging on my kids. What's the big deal, right? When you keep being tolerant and you allow that tolerant shit to come through, this is what we got. It's to the point where we've got pastors inside of these churches that are straight up preaching LGBT bullshit. Jesus Christ was a transgender. Jesus Christ, all this. Have you seen those videos?
No.
Next time we come on there, that guy will be sheep of the week. I'll put it on here. The guy that came on here and said that dressing and drag is holy. Okay? We've let these demons into the church. That shit would never happen in Islam. Ever, bro. Ever. Ever,
Bro,
ever,
the women
ever.
can't even show their noses.
But you know what? The reason, but even with them not showing even with them not showing their noses, there's reasons for that. According to their text and according to their faith, there's reasons why they do it, and they adhere to that and they respect it.
Right, I
Right?
understand.
They respect their religion. We as Christians, we don't even respect our own faith. We don't even respect the reality of what's going on in this world. So when you say that you want to be tolerant, and somehow that's going to open up the doors for more of these people to come and find Christ, that's not true. There were people that hated Jesus. There were people that didn't like the things that he talked about. And I know I'm going on a real biblical Christian rant right now, bro, but the truth is, the reason why this stuff is happening right now is because we have completely tainted the message of what Jesus wanted us to do. Jesus wanted to bring everybody to God. And in order for you to get into the kingdom of God, you have to adhere to a certain set of rules, a certain set of understanding. Tolerance was not one of them. Tolerance was never one of them. And we need to stop being tolerant of a bunch of nonsense because someone else feels some type of way. We need to normalize, and I hate saying that phrase, normalize. We need to normalize calling people stupid again. Okay, and I was talking with my mom about this. And we don't call anybody stupid anymore. People get offended. People, you're rubbing someone the wrong way just because you called them stupid. But the truth is, sometimes people say stupid things. They need to be called out for stupid things they say, and they need to be ridiculed for the stupid things they do.
Yeah.
This is how it's always been. Now we have to care about someone's feelings, even when they're totally fucking wrong, absolutely wrong. We have to care about that. And we have to pedestalize that shit, and we have to put it on the same platform as everything else to diminish the reality that's always been, to prop up someone else's fucking delusion. Stop being a fucking, what's the word for it, tolerant of all this nonsense. Stop being tolerant. It's enough. All right. No more this tolerance crap at this. I'm sorry. All right, back to where you were.
No, listen, you're not wrong. And I think, look, I understand, like, look, I believe tolerance and peace are important, but I understand what you're saying about there's time and place for certain things. And I think the problem is that they pushed the line too far into places where, again, it's okay to be like, I'm not going to tolerate this. Like, and for the people that are going to soundbite what Billy's saying, no one's saying we don't need to tolerate you for you being gay or for you being trans. Like, that's fine, but we're talking about in schools, pushing it in front of kids, pushing it in front of this, doing it's enough. Like, that's where it's saying the line has to be drawn in the sand, because again, if you continue to allow it, they're going to see how much farther can we push this ball up the hill before people push back. And the truth is people have been letting them get away with it for so long. There hasn't been a single person push back.
That's that tolerance shit that I'm talking about, bro.
I get it in that regard. I understand
That's what I'm saying.
you're
It's like there's no we're at a time right now, bro, where there's no room for tolerance, bro. Like call me a bigot, call me a whatever, bro, but the people that are talking about progressivism and moving our country forward, they're sending us backwards. They're talking about allowing adults to have sex with children. They're trying to normalize that as normal now because people want to sit down and be lukewarm and tolerant. This is not the time for tolerance anymore.
Speaking of people we love to tolerate, Eric Adams.
Oh, no.
Roll the clip, Juan.
Eric Adams strikes again.
Talking about plant-based foods. Go ahead, Eric. What you got?
Eat less meat to combat climate change.
Hey.
Food is the third biggest source of cities' emissions, right after buildings and transportation. But all food is not created equal. The vast majority of food that is contributing to our emission crises lies in meat and dairy products.
According to new data released by the city, 20% of the Big Apple's greenhouse gas emissions come from food production and consumption. And the mayor is now vowing to reduce the city's food-based emissions at agencies by 33% in the next 7 years and challenging the private sector to follow suit. And this week, we are exploring the impact of climate change on the tri-state area and the unique...
So for those of you that don't know...
Climate change is a scam.
Well, yeah. But Mayor Eric Adams is a vegan, right? Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Mayor Eric Adams is a vegan. I'm pretty sure. Him and Cory Booker. What's up with the bald black guys being vegans?
Listen, man. Yo, bro.
Yo, Billy gonna come in the studio next week with a shaved head. Be like, dude, I had
sidebar, bro. Like, just a little sidebar about about Cory Booker. Now that you brought him up, I shouldn't tell that story. But one of my friends, I should. Nah, I'm not gonna tell that story. I'm not gonna tell
Boo
it.
this
But-
man.
Long story short, and I know this guy's not lying. Okay, there's like some mobster type guy that I know. I'm not gonna get into too many details, but this guy was telling me, bro, that there was this speakeasy in Newark that Cory Booker used to. I can't tell that story, bro.
Tell the story.
No. Next topic. I'll tell you after this.
But they want to know.
It's too late. Sheep of the week.
No.
man.
I didn't. I want to explain. We didn't talk about the story.
Cory Booker, I know what you're doing. Just put it like that.
Well, listen, I just think it's funny, right? And I'm going to speak on this because I was vegan for 4 years,
Yeah.
right? And, they continue to try to push this plant-based diet, right? And I bought into it for a long time. I believe that plant-based food was the way to go. I gave up meat, and I was a full-blown meat eater, bro. Like, I had eggs for breakfast, chicken for lunch, steak for dinner, like 3 days, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. Like, that's who I was. And I changed it, and I got caught into that mindset about how being vegan was better for the earth. It was being better for the environment. It was better for my body. And the truth is, ask yourself about this. The truth is that there's people who do it for the animals. They're like, oh, the animals, you got to kill an animal to eat an animal. But
Yes.
And they talk about the climate change and all this other shit. But we don't realize how much damage we have to do, right, to grow soybeans, right? I think Ted Nugent said this, but to grow soybeans, you have to kill every ground animal, every bug, every beetle, every squirrel, every raccoon, every deer, just so you can get soy products so we can ship them over, right? And then all the people do the same thing for the avocados so we can ship them on gasoline-powered, diesel trucks to go so you could have avocado toast to feel better because you didn't have to kill an animal, right? And the truth of the matter is that this is bigger, right? They're using climate change because, again, trigger word, it's a fear-based word to get you to want to sign up for this. But do you know who one of the biggest proprietors of plant-based meat is now?
Oh, Bill Gates.
Bill fucking Gates, right? Ask yourself, why are they trying to push this? There was never a problem with that, right? But now there's a problem, and it's this narrative, and I bought into this vegan plantation for a while, and I got off it because I was like, I'm doing better. And then you know what I started to realize? Again, when you eat chicken, for the most part, right, because I get organic, I buy the antibiotic-free, like I'm not eating the stuff with all the bullshit in it. But I know what's in it. It's chicken, right? Chicken. That's the
Can't get more
single
chicken than
single ingredient, chicken. But you buy the vegan chicken, and you're looking at all the nitrates, the sodium, the dioxates, the gums, the all the other shit that you're eating to feel better about yourself inside,
fake.
right? And it's like, I feel good. No, I really
didn't
do.
kill
And
a
I tell you
chicken.
what, I did lose weight, but that's because I was a raw vegan, right? Where it means I just ate vegetables, and I ate rice, and I ate grains. But when you start getting into this processed meat, which is what they're trying to do, they're trying to transport you from eating regular meat into eating plant-based meat. And it's so bad for you. It's got carcinogens that cause cancer.
Yeah.
It'll give you diabetes and heart problems with the sodium and all the other preservatives that they put inside of it. It's literally manufactured garbage.
Not just that, bro. It's funny that you bring that up. You said that it causes cancers. Like, it really does, because
It does.
Well, I was watching a breakdown on how they actually create this plant-based meat, and how they were able to do it was like they needed to find a specific gene that could replicate quickly so that they can continue to print this. And they said that one of the genes that they found this off of originates from the cancer virus, and the cancer virus is known to actually replicate. Now, they claim that they've been able to remove the cancer cells from it, but they've only taken a specific trait from this this genetic mutation that can do that, which I call bullshit. I call bullshit too, But what you're essentially eating, if you kind of want to really simplify, is you're eating a freaking cancer steak. Basically, you're basically eating a cancer steak.
Right, absolutely. And look, I'm not here to give a pass to the meat industry or anything. They do nasty shit too, right? So all I'm saying is, again, I know it's hard and it's expensive, but if you're going to eat products, make sure you're trying to eat better stuff, organic stuff, whole. We could do a whole thing about nutrition, right? It's something that I do have passion for. But for them to push this propaganda to say that, because again, they're not gonna talk about the fact that it's a profitable thing for them. They're gonna say that it's causing climate change. Okay, what about the factories that need to run in order to produce this plant-based meat? What about all the tractors that need to run to do all this? And let's not forget about the fact that we don't have the agricultural land to push everybody away from meat-based products and push them to plant-based products. And they want people. That's why a couple months ago they had a news article where they were trying to get people to be justifiably okay with the idea of protein made out of plastic.
Fuck Wait, what?
Protein, they were isolating a part of plastic molecule to turn it into protein because it's a renewable. Basically, so what they want to do is turn recyclable bottles into edible protein for your body.
This is like, you seen the movie Soylent Green?
No.
You gotta watch Soylent. If you guys have seen Soylent Green, man, write it in the comments, bro. Soylent Green, it's one of so there was a time in my life where I did try the whole. Well, they didn't go full vegan, but I tried the vegetarian thing for a little bit, man. And this movie Soylent Green came out in like the 1970s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically like 1984. It's like a dystopian type world and shit.
Right.
Food supplies dried up, but everyone's eating this thing called Soylent Green. It's like these fucking blocks of. You don't know. You don't find out what Soylent Green is until you get to the fucking end of the film. And if you want to watch a movie, you'll find out what it is. But everyone is like, oh, I don't understand why we're eating this. Like, where is this coming from? And the guy is like, the only person who's not a sheep in society is trying to get to the bottom of what the fuck is in the Soylent Green. And when you get to the end of the movie, you find out that it's humans. It's humans and a bunch of other cancerous bullshit that they were feeding to people this entire time. And that's no different than what's going on right now, man. They're feeding us a bunch of shit that was made in some kind of lab
again,
somewhere.
it goes back to if you control the narrative, you control the people. If I make you afraid, you will do what I want. I'm going to control the news. I'm going to control the politicians. I'm going to control the food supply, the medications that you take, the TV that you watch, the things your kids see in school. Control, 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 control. And if you're people like me and Billy that resist, and the people that are watching this that resist, you will be canceled. You will be ridiculed. You will be name-called. You will be shunned from society because how dare you not agree with the programming diagram that we have laid out in front of you? You don't want to eat plant-based meat? Do you not care about the environment? You don't want little girls to get beat up by boys? Are you transphobe? You don't trust the fact that, after 3 years, the FDA took the Pfizer vaccine off of the fucking table? You must be anti-science. You don't think Joe Biden's doing a good job? You must think the election was stolen. Like, no, man, we're just common sense cats that are questioning fucking everything. And when these powerful puppets that we see on TV every single day continue to reiterate the same garbage towards us, I have to ask the question, why? So should you. I'm feeling fucking deep today.
Damn, son.
That was pretty gay, but okay.
What was gay?
Feeling pretty deep. That's pretty.
Like deep, like inside, bro. Why you gotta make shit weird?
All right.
Damn,
Yo,
son.
why does it look like
They don't.
You sure those aren't sheep dicks?
What?
Look at that.
Roll the clip.
Dude, that's a sheep dick.
No, it's not.
They're shooting stuff in the air.
No, it's not. That's just a shadow. That's just a shadow. It's a shadow.
Bro, that's a sheep dick.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's a sheep dick.
Oh, whoa.
You got sheep dick on the show.
I did not notice that. That was not my intention. That was not my intention.
Oh, my God. This is Billy. I didn't do this.
Wow. Well, I didn't notice that.
You sheepophobic
On to the next thing.
Don't play it again.
All right. Joe Biden, sheep of the week. So, guys, this video actually took place last week, but this was between shows, so we weren't able to put it on here. But I wanted to put this on here. Joe Biden went all the way over to our friends over in Ireland. And he said some really stupid things. They tried to make him look like a badass.
Where does he ever go where he doesn't say something stupid?
Did you see when he came out on stage?
Like
he's playing,
Stone Cold?
Yeah, he's playing like Dropkick Murphys. I'm like, oh my God, he's such a badass. Like I'm looking at these liberals, like the comments, and I'm like, badass.
Yeah, how much fucking adrenaline did they pump into his body to get him to walk to the end of that stage?
gave that guy-
They gave him a fresh diaper and a shot of adrenaline. We're like, get out there, Joe.
Joe, you just got to run straight.
And
Just straight.
this is what he said.
Listen to what he said to the Irish people.
There's nothing our nations can't achieve if we do it together. I really mean it. So thank you all. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
Let's go lick the world.
Let's go lick the
Let's go lick the world. And you know what's funny? The thing that's funny about that is like this really slipped under the rug in the media. They're kind of like, oh, he said let's go lick the rug. I mean, let's go lick the world.
Yo.
Let's go lick the world. Joe Biden said that live on national television, and that slipped right under the rug because Joe Biden does a lot of very stupid things, but Joe Biden saying let's go lick the world does not sound very out of character for him, considering this guy goes around sniffing children and doing all kinds of other unsavory things. So Joe Biden, sheep of the week. And we got another clip for sheep of the week this week. This one is about
There's nothing.
no, that's enough out of you, Joe. You know you want to lick the world.
He wants to lick the
He wants
world.
to lick the world. But this guy, Mr. Kirby,
He's pretending everyone's an ice cream cone. He just wants to lick them.
Mr. Kirby over at the White House. This is him commenting about the Pentagon leaks we spoke about last week. Last week we were talking about the Air Force guardsman, which is kind of funny. Another thing I didn't mention about that is like this was a low-level guy. How the hell did that guy get access to those documents? Unless somebody within the upper echelons of the United States Air Force helped that guy get access to those documents, I don't understand how he could have gotten it, right? But these documents leaked out, and we're talking about the true nature of what was going on in the Ukraine-Russia war, and it turns out that Ukraine is actually getting spanked despite the $200 billion in money we've given them. It doesn't seem like it's going very far. But listen to what John Kirby says about that. This is what he wants the sheep to do. Listen to this.
Confirming the validity of the documents. This is information that has no business in the public domain. It has no business, if you don't mind me saying, on the pages of front pages of newspapers or on television. It is not intended for public consumption, and it should not be out there.
You hear that? It's not for public consumption. It should not be out there. Anybody watching those videos, anyone looking into any of those documents, anybody questioning their government, anybody questioning the war, anybody trailing down the money, you are a threat to the United States. That should not be in the public domain. You're not supposed to know about it. Don't even look into it.
And if you shared information like that, that would go back to what we were talking about last week about that Restrict Act.
Right.
Where if you shared this leaked information, you would be punishable by jail time.
Ain't that? And you know the scariest part, bro, is like it's all while this illusion of freedom is still being propped up in the United States. Like they're putting things like this on the low, like the Restrict Act, that slowly erode your freedom, but then at the same time they say, well, we've got freedom here. And then you got demons like Joe Biden representing you on the other side of the world. God damn it. Is that all we got for today?
That's all we have for today.
That is all.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a good show.
I'm tired. I feel like I was really, really intense
Just been
early.
amped on the mic.
Bro, because this shit bothers me. It don't bother you?
We're going to get a gray beard. Well, I couldn't grow a beard, so I actually ended up...
Don't worry, I got enough beard for both of us.
Thank you. I ended up shaving my beard off. I'm just going to go with the...
Shout out to John the Barber.
With the fireman mustache, because I can't get
but shout out to everyone who's been watching us week in and week out, commenting. Please share this with your friends. Please let them know what we are doing here. Follow us on Rumble. Follow him on Instagram at some guy named Bill. Follow me on Instagram at Not Your Typical Politician. We'll be back here next week, 8 p.m., with more of the chaos that's occurring. And again, the unfiltered, uncensored truth, right? Just because it may not be what you agree with doesn't mean we're not talking about facts. Again, for anyone who discredits what me and Billy are doing here, we're literally posting the articles that are already printed, reading them to you, and then discussing how we feel about them. These aren't factual arguments. This is the reality of what's happening out here.
Shout out to Fascist YouTube. We're not going to be on YouTube anymore. If they do let us back on, great. I guess we'll stream on YouTube for as long as we can until they eventually ban us into the shadow realm. But until then, we do have enough people on Rumble finally, so we will be live streaming on Rumble next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hell yeah.
Tag your friends, tag your family, let everybody know. Sit and watch the show with your dog as well, too, because
Dogs
your dog
love
needs
us.
to be a patriot, too. He's acting like a communist eating all that food and not contributing to the rent.
And we'll see you next week at 8 p.m.,
all right.
guys.
All right, everybody.
Have a
God
good
bless
night.
you guys. Take it easy.
Paging Dr. Juan. Paging Dr. Juan.
As well, so be tuned in, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.